Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhar Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri. I'm going to do short Jaidwani because we don't have so much time. Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Swapa Shaji Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. So we are going to continue from where we left off. Do a very short Mangalacharan because I only have half an hour to read, and I think the recap might be a little bit long today. So, okay. Jnanatimirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurun militam yena tasmai shri guruve namaha. Guruve gaurachandraya radhikaya tadalaye krishnaya krishna bhaktaya tar bhaktaya namo namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Avatirno sakarunyo parichinno sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando dvau bhrataro bhaje. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar, Vrindavana Dasamukhe Amriter Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. All right. So, we're continuing from where we left off. Mahaprabhu, he arrived in Orissa. Nityananda Prabhu broke Mahaprabhu's danda. Mahaprabhu went to different places. He went to Kirchhoda Gopinath and Remuna. He went to Shakshi Gopal. And then he arrived in Bhubaneswar. Thereafter, the Lord went to Sri Bhubaneswar, known also as Gupta Kashi, where Lord Shankar resides. And, okay. I'm just going to read the translations, what we read yesterday, the days before, and I only have half an hour to read, so that's why I'm kind of going a bit fast. One second, let me just copy this so that I could jump from verse to verse. Okay, so the Lord went to Sri Bhubaneswar, also known as Gupta Kashi, where Lord Shankar resides. Thereafter, the Lord went to Sri Bhubaneswar, known also as Gupta Kashi, where Lord Shankar resides. Oops, I just read that. Shiva brought drops of water from all the holy places and created the lake known as Bindu Sarovar. Realizing that the lake was dear to Shiva, Sri Chaitanya eagerly took bath therein and made it glorious. Thereafter, the Lord went to see the manifestation of Shankar, whose followers were glorifying him in all directions. There were rows of ghee lamps in the 4 directions, and the Shiva Linga was being continuously bathed with water. The Lord and all the Vaishnavas were pleased to see the influence of the Lord's dear devotee Shankar. Shiva forgets to dress in the ecstasy he relishes by serving the lotus feet of that Supreme Lord, who is now dancing before him. They're reversing roles now. Now it's Mahaprabhu dancing for him. After joyfully dancing and chanting before Shiva, Gaurachandra passed that night in that village. I will now narrate the Skanda Puran description of how Shiva came to this place. Shiva and Parvati had previously lived for a long time in a solitary place at Kashi. Then Shiva went to Kailash with Gauri, and the human kings began to rule Kashi. There was one king named Kashiraj who worshipped Shiva as he enjoyed the opulence of Kashi. By providence, he became bound by the ropes of time and began worshipping Śiva through severe austerities so that he could defeat Krishna in battle. By the influence of his austerity, Śiva appeared before him and said, "Ask for a benediction." The king then asked for the following benediction. "O Lord, I desire one benediction from you. I wish to defeat Krishna in battle." The characteristics of Bholanath Shankar are unfathomable. Who can understand what form of mercy he bestows or on whom he bestows it? He said, "O king, go and fight. I will follow you with my associates. Who has the power to defeat you when I am supporting you with my Pashupat weapon?" Being encouraged by Śiva, the foolish king happily went to fight Krishna. Śiva and his associates followed him with the intention of fighting on his behalf. The son of Devaki, who is the supersoul of all living entities, immediately understood the entire situation. Knowing the situation, Krishna Chandra released his Sudarshan chakra to destroy them all. No one can escape the wrath of Sudarshan. It first went and cut off the head of Kashiraj. Because of the king's offense, the Sudarshan chakra eventually burnt the entire city of Varanasi to ashes. When Maheshwar saw Varanasi burn, he became so angry that he released his formidable Pashupat weapon. But what will the Pashupat weapon do before the Sudarshan chakra? It immediately fled away when it saw Sudarshan's prowess. Sudarshan eventually went after Maheshwar, who fled away in fear of the chakra. The power of Sudarshan was felt throughout the entire world, so the three-eyed Śiva had no place to escape. Śiva thus fell into a predicament. He fell into a predicament similar to when Durvasa previously suffered under the prowess of Sudarshan. Śiva ultimately realized, "There is no one other than Krishna who can protect me from the wrath of Sudarshan." After thinking in this way, the three-eyed topmost Vaishnav went in fear to take shelter of Govinda. Oh, glories. Wait, is that where I read up to yesterday? No, I think I read this also. Oh, glories to the Supreme Lord Devaki Nandan. Oh, glories to the all-pervading Lord and shelter of all living entities. All glories to you, the bestower of good and bad intelligence. All glories to the... No, wait, did I read this? Shoot. Give me a second. Let me look at the previous video. Clean shot. Where did he... Sorry, I got this, guys. I should have prepared beforehand. Mentality. Go and live there with your associates. The name of that is your desire. Okay. It's left. Shakti Acharya Kahar Pavane Chalai. Okay. Wind. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so I read up to. Sorry, guys. I read up to 354. 2 minutes. Got it. Okay. Śiva ultimately realized, there is no one other than Krishna who can protect me from the wrath of Sudarshan. After thinking this way, then, okay. So he said, all glories to the Supreme Lord Devaki Nandan, all glories to the all-pervading Lord and the shelter of all living entities. All glories to you, the bestower of both good and bad intelligence. All glories to the Creator, Maintainer, and Annihilator of all. All glories to you, the ocean of mercy, who does not find fault in others. All glories to the only friend of all suffering souls. All glories to you, who removes one's offenses and gives one shelter. Please forgive my offense. I surrender unto you. On hearing Shankar's prayers, the Lord of all living entities stopped Sudarshan's attack and appeared before him. Surrounded by the cowherd boys and girls, the Lord slightly smiled as he spoke in anger. O Śiva, you certainly know my prowess. How then did you develop such a mentality after all this time? Who is this insignificant fallen king Kashiraj? You fought with me for his sake? You saw my Sudarshan chakra, whose prowess even you cannot tolerate. Great infallible weapons like the Brahmastra and Pashupatastra are powerless before Sudarshan. When such weapons are defeated, they desire to kill their wielder. It appears that there is no one within the world who disrespects me more than you. After hearing the Lord's angry words, Shankar began to tremble in fear. Then Śiva grabbed hold of the Lord's lotus feet and began to speak with full surrender. O Lord, the entire world is under... Yeah, we read this already, yes, right? Yes. Okay, so he said, O Lord, the entire world is under your control. Who has the power to become independent? The people of the entire world are controlled by you like dry grass is carried by the wind. O Lord, a living entity acts in whatever way you direct him. Who has the power to surpass your illusory energy? O Lord, somehow or other, you have given me a false ego, and as a result, I do not recognize as anyone as superior to me. Your illusory energy bewilders me. O Lord, what shall I do? I have no independence. No. I think I read the Bengali up to this point. Okay, so, O Lord, somehow or other you've given me a false ego, and as a result, I do not accept anyone as superior to me. Gaudiya Bhashya. False ego is produced from the mode of ignorance. By the will of the Supreme Lord, the Guna Avatar Mahadev is invested with the power of destruction. Therefore, the unauthorized philosophies propounded by the impersonalist Kashyaj, the commentator Shrikanta, who is a follower of the Śiva Vishishta Dvaita philosophy, and other impersonalists like Apyayi Dikshita, they have been completely refuted in the Shuddha Prakashika commentary on Sri Bhashya by Sri Sudarshanacharya, the servant of Sri Ramanuja. Yet while raising its head later on, the philosophy of Śiva Vishishtadvaita was out of misfortune, smashed into pieces by the weapon of Sudarshan in the form of Shuddha Vishishtadvaita philosophy. Mayavadam asat shastram prachannam bodham uchyate mayaiva vihitam devi kalo brahmana murtina. In the age of Kali, I take the form of a Brahman and explain the Vedas through false scriptures in an atheistic way, similar to Buddhist philosophy. The activities mentioned in this verse describe the mission of the predominating deity of the false ego. But Sri Vishnu Swami, who was engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord, took shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Rudra, his spiritual master, in such a way that he restored the spiritual ego in place of all forms of mundane false ego. Tomar mayai more korai durgati ki kurimo prabhu mui asvatantramati. Your illusory energy bewilders me. O Lord, what shall I do? I have no independence. Gaudiya Bhashya. It is stated, Mayadish Mayavash Ishvara Jive Bed. The Lord is the master of the potencies, and the living entity is the servant of them. That is the difference between the Lord and the living entity. The living entity is Mayadish, and the Lord is Mayavash. The Lord is Mayadish, and the living entity is Mayavash. Therefore, even though Lord Śiva is addressed by the name Bhagavan, he is a subordinate devotee of the eternal Lord Vishnu. Tor para parmamor ekanta jivan aranye thakibo chinti tomar charan. Your lotus feet are my only life and soul. I will live in the forest and remember your lotus feet. Tatapiha moreshe lawao ahankar muiki koribo prabhu je icha tomar. Still, you invest me with false ego. What can I do, O Lord? That is your desire. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.10.12, it is stated, Dravyam karma chakalascha swabhava jiva evacha yad anugrahata santi na santi yad upekshaya. One should definitely know that all material ingredients, activities, time and modes, and the living entities who are meant to enjoy them all, exists by his mercy only. And as soon as he does not care for them, everything becomes non-existent. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.88.3, it is stated, Shiva Shakti Yuta Shashvat Trilingo Gunasamvrita Vaikarikas Taijasascha Tamasaschetyaham Tridha. Lord Shiva is always united with his personal energy, the material nature. Manifesting himself in three features in response to the entreaties of nature's three modes, he thus embodies the threefold principle of material ego and goodness, passion, and ignorance. Tatapiha Prabhu Mui Koilu Aparad Shakala Kamiya More Koroho Prasad. Still, O Lord, I have committed an offense. Please forgive me and bestow your mercy on me. Emota ku buddhi mor jeno ar nahe e vara deho prabhu hoya sadaye. O Lord, kindly give me the benediction that I may never develop such an evil mentality again. Jeno aparad koilu kori ahankar hoilo tahar shasti sheshe nahi ar. I was punished appropriately for the offense I committed under the influence of false ego. Ebe agya koro prabhu thakimu kothai toma boy arba bolibo kar pai. Now, O Lord, please instruct me. Where should I reside? Who can I ask other than you? Shuni Shankarer Vakya Ishat Hasiya Polite Lagila Prabhu Kripa Jukta Hoya. On hearing Shankar's words, the Lord smiled and spoke to him with compassion. Shuno Shiv Tomare Dilaya Divyasthan Sarva Goshti Sahatata Koroho Payan. Listen, Śiva, I am giving you a divine place. Go and live there with your associates. Ekāmraka vananam sthana manohar tathai hoiba tumi koti lingeshwar. The name of that enchanting place is Ekāmraka Van. You will reside there as Koti Lingeshwar. Sheho Varanasi Prai Suramya Nagari She Stane Amar Parama Gopya Puri. That place is as pleasing as Varanasi. I also reside there in a most confidential place. She Stana Śiva Aji Kohito Mastane She Purir Marmamor Keho Nahi Jane. O Śiva, today I reveal to you the glories of that place. No one else knows the secrets of that place. Sindhu tire vatamule nilachal nam kshetrashi purushottama atiramyasthan. On the shore of the ocean, beneath one banyan tree, is the most enchanting place named Nilachal, which is also known as Shri Purushottam Kshetra. Gaudiya Bhashya. This is where I read up to yesterday, like even with the recap. So, Gaudiya Bhashya. The glories of Shri Purushottam, not the recap, the preview I meant to say. Anyways, the glories of Shri Purushottam Kshetra, Jagannath Puri, are described in the Padma Puran Kriya Yoga Sar, 11th chapter, as follows. How long is this Gaudiya Bhashya? Is this going to be another really long one? Yep. Okay. Let's see how quickly we can get through this. Okay. Lavanambo nidhestire purushottama sangyakam puram tad brahmana shreshta svargad api sudurlabam. On the shore of the saltwater ocean is a sacred city named Purushottam, O best of the Brahmanas. It is more difficult to attain than even heaven. Swayam asti pure tasmin yatashi purushottama purushottam mamituktam tasmat tan namako vida. Because the divine personality of Godhead is directly present in that city, it is called Purushottam by those who are expert knowers of names. Kshetram tad durlabam vipra samanta dashayojanam tatrasta dehino devar drishyante chatur puja. O Brahmana, that rarely achieved holy district measures 10 yojanas on all sides. The embodied living beings who reside there are seen by the demigods as having 4 arms. Pravishantas tutat kshetram sarve syur vishnumurtaya tasmar vicharana tatra na kartavya vichakshanai. Everyone who enters that holy district assumes a form like that of Lord Vishnu. Those who have discrimination need not be concerned at all about the truth of this. Chandale napi samsprishtam grahyam tatra nam agrajai Shakshad Vishnur yatastatra chandalo pi dvijottama. Even if the food of that place has been touched by a chandal, it may be accepted by superior persons. Because Lord Vishnu himself is in that food, even such a chandal is counted among the best of the twice-born. Tatrana pachika lakshmi swayam bhokta janardana tasmat tad anam viprarshe daivatar apidurlabham. The cook who has prepared that food is Lakshmi, and the enjoyer of that food is Lord Janardhan himself. Therefore, O sage among the Brahmanas, that food is difficult for even the demigods to attain. Hari bhukta vashishtam tat pavitram bhuvidurlabham annam je bhunjate martyas tesham muktir nadurlabha. That food, the remnants of Lord Hari, is purifying and rarely achieved in this world. For mortals who eat it, liberation is not at all difficult to achieve. Brahmadyastri dashas sarve tad annam atidurlabham bhunjate nityamadritya manushyanam chakakatha. That food is very difficult to obtain for all the demigods headed by Brahma. Wherever they get it, they eat it with great respect. What to speak then of ordinary mortals? Na yasya ramate chittam tasmin anne sudurlabhe tam eva vishnu dveshtaram prahu sarve maharshaya. If someone's heart does not take pleasure in that rarely obtained food, all the great sages call him an enemy of Lord Vishnu. Pavitram bhuvi sarvatra yatha ganga jalam dvija tata pavitram sarvatra tad annam papanashanam. As the Ganga water purifies the entire earth, O Brahmana, so that food purifies all places and destroys all sins. Tad annam komalam devyam yadyapi dvijasattama tatapi vajratulyam syat papa parvata dharane. O best of the Brahmanas, although that divine food is very tender, it acts like a thunderbolt in shattering one's mountain of sins. Purvar jitani papani kshayam yasyanti yasyavai bhakti pravartate tasmin anne tasya sudurlabe. One whose sinful reactions earned from previous lives have been eradicated develops devotion for that difficult to obtain food. Bahu janmarjitam punyam yasya yasyati shankshayam tasmin anne dvija sheshta tasya bhakti pravartate. And someone whose pious reactions earned over many lifetimes have become depleted also develops devotion for that food, O best of the Brahmanas. Ananta Brahmanda Kale Jok. Oops. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a bit tired right now. Okay. Wow. Amazing. So many glories of Jagannath Mahaprasad. Got to have some today, actually. Okay. Ananta Brahmanda Kale Jokona Sanghare Tabu she Staner Kichu Korite Napare. Wait, let's just see the context. O Śiva, today I reveal to you the glories of that place. Yes. No one else knows the secrets of that place. On the shore of the ocean, beneath one banyan tree, is the most enchanting place named Nilachal, which is also known as Shri Purushottam Kshetra. Okay, and then we just read the Bengali for this verse right here. At the time of the annihilation of the unlimited universes, that place remains intact. Sarvakala Shestane Amar Vasati Pratidina Amar Bhojana Hoy Tati. I eternally reside at that place, and I eat there every day. Shestaner Prabhave Jojan Dasha Bhumi Tahate Vashay Jata Jantu Kita Krimi. Sabare dekhaye chatur bhuja deva gane bhuvana mangala kori kohiye jesthane. By the influence of that place, All living entities, even the animals, insects, and worms, who live within the 10 yojanas of that place, are seen by the demigods as having 4 arms. That place is said to be the most auspicious place in the world. Nidrate ojestane samadhi phal hoy, shayane pranama phala jatha vede koy. The Vedas declare that by sleeping at that place, one obtains the results of samadhi, and by lying down there, one obtains the results of offering obeisances. Pradakshina phalapai korile brahman, katha matra jatha hoy amar stavan. By wandering about that place, one obtains the result of circumambulation. Every word spoken at that place is a prayer offered to me. Henoshe ketrer ati prabhava nirmal, matsya kaile opai havishyer fal. The influence of that place is so sanctified that one attains the result of eating havishya rice, even by eating fish. Whoa. Okay. Don't quite understand that one. Let's see what the Gaudiya Bhashya has to say about this. It is stated in the Manu Samhita, Matsyadas sarvamangsadas tasmin matsyan vivarjayit. One who eats fish is considered to have eaten all forms of meat. Therefore, one should not eat fish. According to this scriptural statement, one who eats fish incurs the sin of eating the flesh of all types of living entities. Therefore, since fish is most abominable, it must not be eaten. Havishya rice, or boiled sun-to rice and ghee, is most pure. It is not abominable in any way. One's contemplation on Mukunda always remains strong while living in Shrikshetra, even if one eats extremely abominable foods, for the living entity there loses the sinful desire to eat abominable foods like fish, and the remnants of Lord Vishnu appear to him as relishable and more sanctified than Havishya rice. Misguided inhabitants of the 10 yojana abode of the Lord, who do not understand the purport of the Puranas, have openly introduced the practice of eating foods like dry fish. If they renounce the eating of abominable foods like fish, they will be able to chant the name of Hari. Although Havishya rice is in the mode of goodness, it is not equal to the transcendental Mahaprasad. By honoring transcendental Mahaprasad, one attains pure devotional service to Krishna. So the Lord continues, Nija name stane mor heno priyatamam, tahate jate ko vaishe she amar samam. That abode which bears my name is very dear to me. Everyone who resides there is equal to me. She stane nahiko jamadanda adhikar, ami kori bhalo manda vichar sabar. Yamaraj has no jurisdiction to punish anyone of that place. I alone judge the pious and impious activities of everyone there. Henoshe amar puri tahar uttare, tomare dilaya sthan rohibar tore. I am giving you a place to stay north of that abode of mine. Gaudiya Bhashya. The place north of Nilachal within the 10 yojana area is Bhubaneswar. Bhukti mukti pradashe sthana manohar, tatha tumi khyata hoi bashi Bhubaneswar. That enchanting place awards material enjoyment and liberation. You will be renowned there as Shri Bhubaneswar. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Bhukti Mukti Prada is explained as follows. After people obtain material enjoyment or liberation, they become suitable candidates for worshipping the Supreme Lord. Another reading for Bhukti Mukti Prada is Bhukti Mukti Prada, or the bestower of liberation in the form of devotional service. Bhakti Mukti Prada, the bestower of liberation in the form of devotional service. In this case, devotional service will be considered an adjective, as devotional service alone is the actual liberation of the living entities. Oh my God, I only have 20 seconds to read. So, after Shankar heard the wonderful glories of Jagannath Puri, he again grabbed hold of the Lord's lotus feet and spoke, O Lord of my life, I have one request. I am always extremely proud. Therefore, it will never be good for me to live away from your association. I have a desire to reside near you. It is never good to remain in bad association. Okay, We'll continue this tomorrow. My time is up. Jai Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Actually, I decided to make another video, and I'm going to just stitch these two videos together because I don't want to break this one story into 3 parts like that. So, yeah, I'm just going to make this video not go live. I'll make it, I don't know, I'll make it go, whatever, a premiere. Alright, so continuing on. Shuniya Arbhuta Puri Mahima Shankar Puna Shri Charana Dhori Korila Utar. After Shankar heard the wonderful glories of Jagannath Puri, he again grabbed hold of the Lord's lotus feet and spoke. Shuno prananatamor ekani vedan muishe parama ahankrita sarvakhan. O Lord of my life, I have one request. I am always extremely proud. Eteke tomare chari ami anya sthane Thakile kushalamor nahi ko kokhone. Therefore, it will never be good for me to live away from your association. Tomar nikate thaki shabe mor man, dushta sanga doshe bhalo nahi ko kokhon. I have a desire to reside near you. It is never good to remain in bad association. Eteke amare jadi thake bhritya gyan, tabe nijo khetre more deho ekasthan. Therefore, if you consider me your servant, please give me a place to stay in your own abode. Kshetrer mahima shuni shri mukhe tomar, boro icha hoilo tata thakite amar. After hearing the glories of your abode from your lotus mouth, I have developed an intense desire to live there. Nikrishta hoya Prabhu sevimu tomare, tathai tilekasthan deho Prabhu more. I will serve you as a menial servant. O Lord, please give me a tiny place. Kshetravas pratimor boroloy man, eto boli maheshwar koren krandan. I desire to live in your sacred abode. After speaking these words, Maheshwar began to cry. Śiva bhakye tushta hoy, Shri Chandra vadan, bolite lagila tare, kori alingan. The moon-faced Lord was pleased with Shiva's words. He then embraced Shiva and spoke as follows. Shuno Shiva tumi mor nija deho sama, je tomar priya she mohar priyatama. Listen, Shiva, you are equal to my own body. Anyone who is dear to you is also dear to me. Gaudiya Bhashya. The meaning of the phrase mohar priyatama can be understood from Shri Jiva Goswami's following statement in the Bhakti Sandarbha 216. Shuddha bhakta Shri Guru Shishivasya cha bhagavata saha. Abheda drishtam tat priyatama tve naiva manyante. Don't know if I broke that up properly, probably not. Whenever the scriptures describe the spiritual master and Lord Shiva as being non-different from Krishna, pure devotees understand that this is because of their being most dear to Sri Krishna. Okay, that's an important point. Whenever the scriptures describe the spiritual master and Lord Shiva as being non-different from Krishna, pure devotees understand that this is because of their being most dear to Sri Krishna. We're going to Harihar Kshetra tomorrow. Maybe I can mention this point. Jatha tumi tatha ami ithe nahi ano, sarva khetre tomare dilaya ami sthana. I am present wherever you are. There is no doubt about it. I am giving you a place in all of my abodes. Kshetrer palakatumi sarvatha amar, sarva khetre tomare dilam adhikar. You will be the sole maintainer of my abodes. I authorize you to do this. Gaudiya Bhashya. Because after Mahadev received a place to reside in Ekāmraka Kshetra, he prayed that he be allowed to live wherever the Lord stays, Mahadev was appointed as the maintainer of all of Vishnu's abodes. Ekāmraka vana jeto mare dilo ami, tahate o paripurna rupe thako tumi. You reside to your full satisfaction in the Ekāmraka van. You reside to your full satisfaction in the Ekāmraka van that I gave you. She khetra amara parama priyasthan, mor prite thatai thakibe sarvakhan. That place is most dear to me. Always reside there for my pleasure. Je amar bhakta hoy toma anadare, she amare matra jeno vidambana kore. If one of my devotees disrespects you, he simply creates disturbance for me. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mahadev was instructed to live in Bhubaneswar Kshetra to his full satisfaction. No devotee of Vishnu should disrespect him. Anyone who does so will fall from the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. This benediction was given to Mahadev. Henomate Śiva pailen she sthan, adyapiha vikhyata Bhubaneshwaranam. Bhubaneshwaranam. In this way, Śiva obtained that place. Even today, that place is celebrated by the name Bhubaneshwar. Śiva priya boro Krishna taha bhujaite, nritya kore Gaurachandra Shiver shakshate. Gaurachandra danced before Śiva to reveal that Śiva is most dear to Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. The spiritual master and Mahadev are both extremely dear to the Supreme Lord. The devotees of Śiva have obtained the service of the eight-armed Supreme Lord. But those who consider demigods like Śiva to be independent commit an offense at the feet of the Supreme Lord. Jata kichu Krishna kohi achen purane, ebe taha dekhayena shakshate apane. Whatever Krishna spoke in the Puranas was now directly demonstrated. Śiva Rama Govinda boliya gora rai, hate tali diya nritya koren sadai. Lord Gaur clapped his hands as he continuously danced and chanted, Śiva Ram Govinda. Apane Bhubaneshwara giya gora chandra, Śiva puja kori lena loy bhakta vrinda. Gaurachandra personally visited Bhubaneshwar with his devotees and worshipped Śiva. Gaudiya Bhashya. In his book Sankalpa Kalpadruma, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written as follows: Vrindavanavani jaya soma soma, mole sanandana sanatana naradedya, Gopishvara vrajavilasi yugangri parme, pritim prayacha nitaram nirupadikang me. O protector of Vrindavan, O glories to you! O husband of Parvati, O you whose head is decorated with the moon and who is worshipped by sages like Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Narad. O Gopishwar, I pray that you bestow upon me uninterrupted, unalloyed love for the lotus feet of the divine couple who enjoy pastimes in Vraj. Ignorant people who do not understand either Mahadev's glorious service to Krishna or the actual purport of some Puranic incidents, they think that Śiva is worshipped as a supreme controller by Vishnu Tattvas like Ram and Lakshmis like Sita. And therefore, Rudra is certainly the independent Supreme Lord and Lord Vishnu is subordinate to the Supreme Lord Rudra. Some people consider that Vishnu is equal to Rudra, or that Vishnu is another name of Rudra, and they thus try to synthesize without authority. But all Vedic literatures have refuted their philosophy as follows: Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Daivatai Samatve Naiva Viksheta Sa Pashandi Bhaved Dhruvam. A person who considers demigods like Brahma and Shiva to be on an equal level with Narayan is to be considered an offender or a pashandi. In the Mahabharata narration regarding Upamanyu, it is said that Sri Krishna performed austerities to please Rudra for the sake of Jambavati's son, and that all the demigods and Vishnu emanated from Rudra. But where is the justification for this conclusion? The understanding of those who conclude in this way without realizing the actual purport of the scriptures is extremely crude. The reason for this is that the scriptures describe that when Rudra was fighting on behalf of King Brahma, he was defeated by Vishnu, and he then glorified Vishnu as the original personality of Godhead. He was thus also bewildered by Mohini. He was also bewildered by Mohini, saved from the hands of Vrikasura, and delivered from the sin of killing a Brahmana. The reason why Lord Vishnu sometimes displays the pastime of worshipping Rudra is described in the scriptures as follows. In the Siddhanta Ratna, 3rd Pada, text 22, 23, 26, 27, it is stated, by displaying the pastime of worshipping his own form as Rudra, Lord Vishnu taught the worship of Rudra not to his own sincere devotees, but to the insincere living entities who desire religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. This fact has been confirmed by the Lord himself when he spoke in the Narayaniya to Arjuna as follows. So the Lord said to Arjuna, O Arjuna, I am the soul of the universe. My worship of Rudra is worship of my own self. Whatever I do, common people follow. Examples set by me should be followed. That is why I worship Rudra. Vishnu does not offer obeisances to any demigod. I worship Rudra, considering him to be my own self. I am the indwelling supersoul of the entire universe. I worship my own partial expansion, Rudra, who is non-different from me, as molten iron is non-different from fire. I have set the standard that the demigods headed by Rudra should be worshipped. If I did not set the example of worshipping Rudra, then people would not follow that standard. Therefore, I teach people the worship of my servants through my personal behavior. There is no one greater than or equal to me. Therefore, since I am the greatest, I do not worship anyone. But since Rudra is my partial expansion, I display the example of worshipping Rudra and other demigods to teach ordinary people. In this connection, Brahma told Rudra that Vishnu alone is the supersoul of everyone, including Brahma and Rudra. He said, Lord Vishnu is the supersoul of you, me, and all other embodied living entities. No one can restrict him within the confines of their mundane knowledge. If simply because Sri Ramachandra displayed the pastime of worshipping Lord Śiva to teach the worship of that great Vaishnava, Śiva should be considered the Supreme Lord and Ramachandra should be considered subordinate, then since Sri Ramachandra worshipped the ocean should also be considered the Supreme Lord. It should be understood that whenever the associates of the Supreme Lord have enacted the pastime of worshipping demigods, their purpose was to teach the worship of the demigods who are subordinate to Vishnu. It is the pastime of the Lord's associates to teach all demigods. It is the pastime of the Lord's associates to teach all demigods are subordinate to Vishnu. Yet such worship should never be accepted as the ultimate conclusion. Lord Vishnu is certainly the controller of everyone. His activity of maintaining the universe, like Brahma's activity of creation and Rudra's activity of annihilation, and his interaction with the demigods is just like a king's interaction with thieves. Actually, Brahma and Rudra create and annihilate only after being empowered by Vishnu. Therefore, Lord Vishnu is certainly eternally worshipable to all the demigods headed by Brahma and Rudra. It is further stated in the Siddhanta Ratna, 3rd Pada, text 13 to 14. In the Skanda Puran, it is stated that Lord Vishnu kept some names like Narayan for himself, and he gave some names like Brahma and Rudra to the demigods. As a king gives villages other than his own capital to his ministers, and servants for their residence, the supremely independent personality of Godhead Vishnu also gives names other than a few special ones to the demigods for their use. Rudra is known for deriding the desire for liberation and for having a fierce form. Therefore, it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.26, Mamukshavo Ghora Rupan Hitva Bhutapatin Atha Narayana Kalas Shanta Bhajanti Yanusuyava. Those who are serious about liberation are certainly non-envious, and they respect all. Yet they reject the horrible and ghastly forms of the demigods and worship only the all-blissful forms of Lord Vishnu and his plenary portions. It has already been shown by quoting Vyasadev's words, and it has been proved by quoting the Puranic incident mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, that Sri Bhuvaneshwar should not be seen as a fierce form of Rudra or as an ordinary linga. In the consideration of pure Vaishnavas, Sri Bhuvaneshwar is most dear to Krishna, and is therefore non-different from Krishna. The Sri Rupanuga Vaishnavas consider Sri Bhuvaneshwar in the form of Sri Gopalini Shakti and pray to him for the service of the divine couple, Shri Shri Radha Govinda. Okay, so let's reread that last sentence. The Sri Rupanuga Vaishnavas consider Sri Bhuvaneshwar in the form of Sri Gopalini Shakti and pray to him for the service of the divine couple, Shri Shri Radha Govinda. Alright, so let's continue. We're almost finished for today. Shiksha Guru Ishware Shiksha Jainamane Nijadoshe Dukha Pai She Sab Jane. Those who do not follow the teachings of the Supreme Lord, who is the instructing spiritual master of all, suffer miseries because of their own faults. She Śiva Grame Prabhu Bhakta Vrinda Shange Śiva Linga Dekhi Dekhi Brahmilen Range. In that abode of Śiva, the Lord and his associates happily wandered about, seeing the Śiva Lingas. Gaudiya Bhashya. Of the deities situated within the walls of the temple, Ekāmraka Śiva is situated at the base of the mango tree and is facing west. North of the mango tree is a Śiva Linga named Ugreshwar, who is the chief of the 1100,000 lingas. Beyond him is Vishveshwar Linga. West of Gananath are Nandi and Mahakal. These two were worshipped by Chitragupta, so they are known as Chitraguptesh. Nearby is Sabareshwar Linga. In the southwest is Ladukeshwar Shiva, the chief of the 900,000 Shiva Lingas. Near him is Shakreshwar Shiva. Bindu Sarovar, Anantavasudev, Purushottam, Padahara, Tirtheshwar, and Bhuvaneshwar, who is the combination of 8 forms, are found in the first of 8 concentric rings. Kapilakund, Papanashanakund, Maitresha, and Varunesha are situated in the second ring. Beyond this is Papanashanatirtha. South of Papanashankund is Ishaneshwar Shiva. Northwest of him is Yameshwar Linga. Gangeshwar Linga is situated in the third concentric ring. Ganga and Yamuna flow a short distance northeast of there. In the Satya Yuga, Ganga and Yamuna flowed there slowly with a desire to see Bhuvaneshwar and offered prayers to Bhuvaneshwar by chanting mantras from the 4 Vedas. When Bhuvaneshwar was satisfied by their prayers and asked what they desired, they expressed their desire to live eternally in Ekāmraka Kshetra. Sri Bhuvaneshwar then awarded them a place in the southeast. By taking bath in these 2 tirthas, Ganga and Yamuna, one attains devotional service to Vishnu. Which is the result of taking bath in the Ganga and Yamuna. Okay. There is also a place known as Devipada Tirtha in this third ring. We have already described the Puranic incident regarding this Devipada Tirtha. The beautiful lake that Parvati Devi created after killing the 2 demons Krita and Vasa is renowned as Devipada Tirtha. By taking bath in that Devipada Tirtha and worshipping Gopalini on the 8th day of the waxing moon in the month of Falgun. Hey, what's today? I'm just curious as today because it's Falgun. What's the Titi? It is. Oh, okay. So 2 days ago, 2 days ago, if you would have, that's pretty neat though. Still, so that linga is known as whatever. So 2 days ago, if you would have worshipped in that Devi Paratirtha, you would have attained. One attains one's desired results. Southeast of this tirtha is Lakshmi Devi. Having a hard time reading all of a sudden. Southeast of this tirtha, Sri Lakshmi Devi established a linga in a temple constructed by Vishwakarma. That linga is known as Lakshmishwar. In the fourth ring, Koti Tirtha and Kotishwar are situated. When the demigods attempted to construct temples in Bhuvaneshwar, Sri Bhuvaneshwar ordered them through a voice in the sky to perform a sacrifice in the northeast corner. When the demigods followed his order by constructing temples, establishing deities, performing fire sacrifices, and offering prayers, Bhuvaneshwar was pleased and decided to give them a benediction. The demigods then prayed that their sacrificial pit would become a tirtha and that their desire would be fulfilled. This place is renowned as Koti Tirtha. By taking bath in this Koti Tirtha, one attains the supreme destination. In the fourth ring, the Shiva Linga known as Swarna Jaleshwar is situated. This Swarna Jaleshwar Linga is situated 70 dhanu, or 280 cubits. Cubit is about 1.5 feet, northeast of Bindu Sarovar. Near this linga, there is a kund, the water of which is used for bathing the linga. There is Swarneshwar Linga within that kund. Sureshwar Tirtha, which measures 200 cubits in diameter, is situated 400 cubits northeast of Bhuvaneshwar. Sureshwar Mahadev is situated there. Nearby are Siddheshwar, Mukteshwar, Swarnajwaleshwar, Parameshwar, Amratakeshwar, Brahmeshwar, Mageshwar, Kedareshwar, Chakreshwar, Vishweshwar, and Kapileshwar. By worshipping these lingas, one attains devotional service to Vishnu. Southeast of Siddheshwar is the famous Kedareshwar, a Shiva linga that faces south. East of Siddheshwar is Chakreshwar Shiva, and beyond that is Yageshwar, or Indreshwar Shiva. How long is this Gaudiya Bhashya? Okay, well, this is the last paragraph, but it looks like 2 pages, this one paragraph. The demigods worshipped that linga out of devotion to Vishnu and had Vishwakarma construct a temple. As a result, Bhuvanesh Vishnu became pleased and gave them the benediction that this linga would be known as Siddheshwar, because Shiva, who is very dear to Vishnu, was directly present in that linga and would award perfection in the worship of Vishnu. Siddhashram, which awards perfection, is situated 800 cubits from the Siddheshwar linga. Near Siddhashram is Mukteshwar Shiva. Near Mukteshwar is Siddhakund, and south of Siddhakund is Punyakund. South of Siddheshwar is Kedaradev, and Gauri Devi is situated by his side. Near Gauri Devi is Gaurikund. Since Himalaya worshipped that linga, it became known as Hema Kedar. Streams of crystal clear water emanate west, south, and north of this linga. In front of this self-manifested linga is a Bhava pit. Near this Bhava pit, there are 3 Rudra lingas, Shanti Shiva, Shanta Shiva, and Daiteshwar, who were worshipped by the Maruts. Hiranyakashipu heard a voice from the sky say, "Worship Daiteshwar Shiva, who is generally worshipped by the Daitas, and who is situated west of Siddheshwar. East of Siddheshwar is Indreshwar, who is worshipped by Indra. In the 5th concentric ring, there is Brahmeshwar Linga and Brahmakund, which appeared during the sacrifice performed by Brahma. 440 cubits northeast, a little southeast, is Kritivas. A little bit past Kritivas is Gokarneshwar. Sushen and Gokarnasura worshipped this linga. Near this linga are Utpaleshwar and Amratakeshwar lingas. In the 6th ring, Mageshwar linga is situated. Since this linga, which is 6,800 cubits northeast of Kalpavriksha, since this linga was established and worshipped by the clouds, Megha, this linga became renowned as Megeshwar. West of Megeshwar is Bhaskareshwar Linga, which was worshipped by Bhaskar, the sun god. How much more time do I have? 5 minutes. Okay. Mahadev and Surya are perpetually worshipped 6,000 cubits past this place. 3,200 cubits west of Bhaskareshwar is Kapala Mochana Śiva. In the 7th ring is Alabul Tirtha. When one Brahmin friend of Indra performed austerities for 100,000 years of the demigods, Bhuvanesh became pleased with him and awarded him the benediction that his begging bowl and water pot made of alabu, or squash, would transform into a tirtha. When the Lord touched that water pot, it turned into a divine lake. South of this lake is Ottaresh. Ottareshwar is situated west of Kedareshwar. This three-eyed linga is effulgent, marked with the impression of the moon on his forehead, decorated with a garland of planets and stars, smeared with the ashes from a funeral pyre, decorated with snakes, endowed with a fierce face, and naked. Near this Ottareshwar linga, there are 3 witches who are fond of flesh and blood, who are fully intoxicated, and who have crooked reddish eyes, and who are fond of singing and playing instruments. It is heard that Vashishta and Vamadev live at this place. Near this place is a linga named Bhimesha, who takes away everyone's fear. In the 8th ring, there is Ramakund, also called Ashoka Jhara, which appeared from the Ashwamedha horse sacrifice. Within this ring are lingas like Rameshwar, Siteshwar, Hanumadishwar, Lakshmanishwar, Bharateshwar, Shatrughneshwar, Lavaneshwar, and Gosahashreshwar. Okay, well that was a mouthful. Okay, let's see if we can get to Mahaprabhu entering into Puri. I think we should almost... Yeah, we're almost there. Verse 402. Paramandrabhrita eka dekhi Śiva stan, Sukhi hoila Shri Gora Sundara Bhagavan. When Shri Gaurasundar saw a temple of Shiva in a most solitary place, he became joyful. She grame jateka achaye devalay, Sava dekhilen Shri Gauranga Mahashai. Lord Gauranga visited all the temples in that place. E mate sarvapate santoshe asite, Uttarila asi Prabhu kamala purete. And this way, the Lord happily traveled all the way and eventually arrived at Kamalapur. Gaudiya Bhashyam. In this regard, one should see Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 5.141, which states, Kamalapure asi bhargi nadi snana koilo. Whatever. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at Kamalapur, he took his bath in the Bhargi Nadi river. The flag on the top of the Jagannath temple can be seen from this village. This ancient village is situated in the district of Puri. Deuler dvaja matra dekhilen dure, praveshila prabhu nija ananda sagare. As soon as the Lord saw the flag on the top of the temple, he floated in an ocean of happiness. Akatya arbhuta prabhu koren hunkar, vishal garjana kampa sarva deha bhar. The Lord's loud roaring was wonderful and beyond description. His entire body began to tremble, and he was unable to move. Prasader dike matra chahite chalilen prabhu shloka podite. The Lord then continued on, constantly looking at the temple and reciting verses. Shri mukher ardra shlok shuno savadane, jai lila korila gora chandra bhagavane. Now hear carefully about Lord Gaurachandra's pastime of composing and reciting half of a verse. So we will continue. We will read the rest of this chapter starting tomorrow. Let's see, how much more is left? How many more words? Let's see if I could read this in three, like just in one reading, then otherwise I think maybe we should read a little bit more. Let's just see right now quickly. How many more words are left in this chapter? We have 3,605 words. Yeah, I think we can finish it in one reading. Actually, let's read a little bit more. Just a little bit. Okay. So, now hear carefully about how Lord Gaurachandra's pastime of composing and reciting half of a verse. Prasadagre nivasita puras. Oops, this is the verse, I guess. Prasadagre nivasita pura smera vaktra ravindo mamalokya smita subadano Palagopala Murti Prasadagre Nivasita Pura Smera Vaktra Ravindo Mamalokya Smita Suvadano Palagopala Murti. Okay, sorry, I got the meter wrong before. Just look at the top of the temple. There, in the form of a cowherd boy, with his face resembling a fully blossomed lotus, Lord Shri Krishna is looking at me and smiling sweetly. In this way, the beauty of his face is increasing. Prabhu bole dekho prasader agramule hasen amare dekhi Shri Bala Gopale. The Lord said, just see, at the top of the temple, Shri Bal Gopal is looking at me and smiling. Gaudiya Bhashya. Regarding the top of the temple, one should see Hari Bhakti Vilas, chapters 19 and 20. Shloka puna puna. I remember actually when I lived in Jagannath Puri for 6 years, and many devotees, I didn't do this all the time, but also I would do it a lot. We would walk to the ocean to a certain part and have darshan of the flag on top of the Jagannath temple and offer pranam and then walk back to the mott. Because it is said that having darshan of even just the flag, you get the results of having darshan of Jagannath, something like that. It probably explains that in the Hari Bhakti Vilas thing also. Okay. Prabhu bole dekho prasader agramule hasen amare dekhi Śiva. Just see, at the top of the temple, Shri Bal Gopal is looking at me and smiling. Okay. Shloka puna puna poriya poriya achara kayen Prabhu vivasha hoya. Reciting this verse again and again, the Lord helplessly fell with great force to the ground. She diner je achara, je arti krandan, ananter jivai she na jai varnan. Even Ananta cannot describe the way he forcefully fell to the ground and the way he pathetically cried that day. Chakra prati drishti matra koren shakale she shloka poriya paren bhumitale. When the Lord and his associates looked at the chakra on the top of the temple, they offered obeisances and recited that verse. E mata dandavata hoite hoite sarvapata ailen prema prakashite. In this way, the Lord exhibited ecstatic love of God while offering obeisances the entire way. Ihare she boli premoy avatar, e shakti chaitanya vahi anya nahi ar. That is why he is called the incarnation of love of God. No one other than Sri Chaitanya has the power to display such love. Pate jata dekhaye sukriti naragan, tara bole eto shakshat narayan. Those pious persons who saw the Lord on the road said, he is directly Lord Narayan. Chaturdike bediya aise bhaktagan, ananda dharai purna sabar nayan. The devotees surrounded the Lord as they walked down the road. Everyone's eyes were filled with tears of ecstasy. Shabe chari danda pata premer abeshe, prahare tinete asi hoilo praveshe. The road that could be covered in 1.5 hours took them 9 hours because of the Lord's absorption in ecstatic love. Gaudiya Bhashya. The journey between Kamalapur and the Jagannath temple takes only 1.5 hours. But since the Lord was fully absorbed in ecstatic love, and he was repeatedly offering obeisances, it took him 9 hours. Ailena matra Prabhu, Athara nalai, Sarva bhava samvarana koila gora rai. As soon as the Lord Gauranga arrived at Atharanala, he concealed the symptoms of his ecstatic love. Gaudiya Bhashya. At the entrance to Jagannath Puri, there is a bridge called Atharanala. Since that bridge over a small river has 18 arches, it is called Atharanala. Athara means 18 and Nala means canal. Sthir hoy boshilen Prabhu sabal loya. I think sabare bolen ati binay koria. The Lord peacefully sat down with his associates and humbly spoke to them. I'm just going to read the translation, but we'll read all these verses tomorrow. You have all done a favor to me, for you have brought me to see Lord Jagannath. Now tell me whether you should go first to see Jagannath, or I should go first. Mukunda said, Then you should go first. Gauranga replied, All right, and then departed. All right, so that's a good cliffhanger. We'll find out what happens tomorrow when Mahaprabhu has darshan of Lord Jagannath. All right. Thank you so much for joining. I'll do a short ending here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vamana Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shri Gorkishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Anu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pratapta Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jai Shri Bhuvaneshwar ki jai. Jai Shri Harihara ki jai. Shri Harina Saparshadji Gaur Hari ki jai. The Lord's entry into Shri Jagannath Puri ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Vo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhu Bhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams. So we'll just have one more reading from this chapter. Only a half an hour reading. I'll go live tomorrow. Well, my video will go live. And then we'll be finished with chapter 2. And then we'll take a break for a couple days. And then on maybe the day before Gaur Purnima, I'll go live. We can read the glories of Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari. Maybe we can, I don't know. We'll figure out what to read then. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. If you came in later and you don't realize, this is a pre-recorded video. I'm not actually live right now. Wait, no. I'm going to premiere this video. Never mind. See you tomorrow. Haribol.